Today is Tuesday, April 21st, 2020. For today's lesson, we're going to be looking at our Go Math online work or our Go Math textbook. We're going to be in volume 1 of our Go Math textbook. Lesson 5.3 is going to be on pages 151 to 156. I'm going to go ahead and let's talk about what our objective is today, what we're going to be doing together as a class and what you're going to be doing independently. So our we will, I will statement that we're used to saying every day in class. So today, through our lesson, we're going to combine, we're going to put together place values, or we're going to use regrouping, borrowing, to subtract numbers. Independently, you should be able to, at the end of this lesson, subtract 3-digit numbers, so ones, tens, and hundreds place. All right, so let's do a few examples together. I'm going to be on page 152. I'm going to be looking at numbers 1 and 2 on this page under share and show. So let's take a look at the directions. We need to find 851 minus 448 in 2 ways. Okay, you might be thinking of the original way, just subtracting with the algorithm, but we're also going to be combining place values to subtract. So let's take a look. It says to estimate 850 minus 450. And you might be thinking, oh, I thought we were subtracting 851 minus 448. Well, we are, but we're going to use estimation as a strategy to find our solution of about what our answer should be close around. Now remember, an estimate is pretty close to the actual solution. We could use rounding to estimate. So they've already rounded for us. They took 851 and they rounded it to 850. Now if you do need a refresher on this, we could round to the nearest tens place or the nearest hundreds place. And if we're talking about place values, a place value chart's really going to help me out here. So let's draw this out. We have our ones, tens, and hundreds place. And again, you could round to the nearest hundreds or tens in this case. They rounded to the nearest tens. So let's see how they did that. We're going to underline that tens place. So underline that digit 5. Circle the number to the right. It's a 1. Ask yourself with that number 1, is that number 1 4 or less, or is it 5 or more? Well, the number 1 is 4 or less. So the rounding number will rest, the rounding number will stay the same. Anything to the left of the rounded number stays the same. Anything to the right of the rounded number becomes a 0. So that's how they got 850. Now let's do the same thing with 448. 448 has 3 digits, so it goes up to the hundreds place again. Let's round it to the nearest 10. So we're going to underline the tens place. Circle the number to the right, it's an 8. Now 8, ask yourself, is it 4 or less, or is it 5 or more? It's 5 or more. So the rounding number will soar, add 1 more. Well, 4 plus 1 more is 5. Anything to the left of the rounding number stays the same. Anything to the right of the rounded number becomes a 0. So that's how they got the 850 and 450. Now when we subtract 850 minus 450, put your bigger number up top, line it up according to place value, start at the ones place to subtract. 0 minus 0 is 0. 5 minus 5 is 0. 8 minus 4 is 4. So whatever we get when we actually subtract 851 minus 448, it's going to be pretty close to 400. Now, if our answer is not close to 400, then that means our answer is not reasonable. We made a mistake somewhere. So let's take a look. Number 1, we're going to use place value to subtract. Now this is how we normally subtract our numbers. Our bigger number is up top. It's lined up according to place value. We're going to start at the ones place to subtract. Now, if I have 1, 1, can I subtract 8? Think, if you have $1, can you give your mom or your brother or sister $8? No, you don't have enough. So you're gonna go next door. You're gonna get 10 more. This is where we regroup. So if we go next door to get 10 more, this 5 tens is now a 4 tens. Now this 1, 1, it got 10 more. So 1 plus 10 more is 11. Now we can subtract. 11 minus 8. Well, I can grab that 8 and count up to 11. 9, 10, 11. My difference is 3. Okay, I go to the tens place and subtract. 4 minus 4 is 0. 8 minus 4 is 4. So 403. Oh, that's pretty close to our estimate. Now let's do it in a different way. It said to do it in 2 ways. So now let's combine place values. Now, this may be new to some of us. Maybe we haven't really used this strategy, but it is a strategy that if this works for you, this is what you're going to use. This is what you're going to use independently. Now, I notice I've got my bigger number up top. It's lined up according to place value. I notice that that 8 is bigger than that 1. Well, then I can go to this tens place. I can combine place values, meaning I can combine my 1s and 10s. Now just think, what is 51 minus 48? Well, I've got 51 1s and 48 1s. I'm thinking of my little 1s unit cubes with our place value blocks. Now I've already put together 51 1s, and I'm taking away 48. So I could just chunk it out of this bucket, move it to the side. I'm getting rid of 48 of that 51. So let's say I'm counting all the way, getting rid of 48. And let's say I speed this up, and I'm counting. Okay, I'm not sure if you could see this, but I had 51. I took away 48. I have 3 remaining. Now take a look at this 3 remaining. Do I have any base 10 blocks in here? Have I made up a group of 10? No, I just have 3 1s. So 51 minus 48 is 3. Or grab that 48, count up to 51. 49, 50, 51. Either way, we got 3. Okay, now you might be thinking, well, what goes in the tens place? Well, did we have any base 10 blocks? Did we have the 10 rod that looks like this? No, we only had 3 left. So I have no 10s. Now let's subtract the hundreds. 8 minus 4 is 4. Did we get the same solution both times? Yes, it's just a different strategy to subtract. Now remember, in 3rd grade, anytime we subtract, especially when there is regrouping, we want to make sure our answer is correct. We do know that it's reasonable and it makes sense, but we've been practicing all year long. Use your inverse operation to double check your answer. Meaning, I'm going to take the answer that I think is true. I'm going to use the inverse operation and combine it with this number to see if I get my top number. Now, the inverse of subtraction is addition. They're inversely related. They undo each other. So, I star my answer. I'm going to see, by using the inverse operation, if our answer is correct. 8 plus 3 is 11. 4 plus 1 is 5. 4 plus 4 is 8. Did we get to our top solution? Yes. Is my answer 851? No. Our answer is 403. All right, let's do a few more together. Let's take a look at number 14. You know, Mrs. Creel likes to skip around. All right, let's take a look at number 14 on page 153, 153, under problem solving. All right, so we're going to use this table to answer questions 13 through 18. And let's do 14 and 16 together on this. All right, so let's analyze our table. We have our title as roller coaster heights. We have our categories as the roller coaster, the state, and the height in feet. We have Titan, King to Caw, Intimidator 305, Top Thrill, Dragster, and we have the states and their height. Okay, number 14. How many feet shorter? So this is a key word. How many feet shorter? How many feet smaller is Intimidator 305 than Top Thrill Dragster? Now I boxed in my keywords. There's a lot of information in this table. I'm only concerned with, on this question, Intimidator 305, so I'm going to star it, and Top Thrill Dragster, so I'm going to star it. At this moment in time, I don't care about Titan. I don't care about King to Caw. Okay, now it says how many feet shorter. Okay, so now we're taking a look at their feet. So I have 305 feet and 420 feet. Now when it says how many feet shorter, how many feet smaller, it's looking for the distance in between, the distance in feet between. So I'm thinking, okay, what operation are we going to be using? Are we adding and putting these feet together, or are we subtracting? We're subtracting. So my equation, how many feet shorter, my equation is 420 minus 305. Now, of course, we know we don't subtract this way. We're just setting up our numbers in it. So now we're going to show our work. Let's put our bigger number up top. Line it up according to place value. Now let's use one of the strategies that we've been taught in the previous examples. We're going to start at our ones place. Again, if you have $0, can you give away 5? No. So we're going to go next door, get 10 more. Now, when I go next door to get 10 more, that 2 becomes a 1. 0 gets 10 more, so it's now a 10. Now let's subtract. 10 minus 5 is 5. 1 minus 0, still 1. 4 minus 3 is 1. Now remember how I said, oh, we just use regrouping with large numbers. There is no A, B, C, or D to kind of help me out. Let's double check our work. So let's star our answer. Let's use our inverse operation to check. So I'm going to use addition to double check my work. 5 plus 5 is 10. 1 plus 1 is 2. 3 plus 1 is 4. Does this match our top answer? Yes. So that answer, 115, let's plug it into our equation. Now let's see if we're done with this question. Let's go back and reread it one more time. How many feet shorter is Intimidator 305 than Top Thrill Dragster? Well, we said that we were subtracting, so we were subtracting out 420 minus 305, and we got 115. 115 what? 115 feet. We make sure that we include that unit of measurement. Again, like we said, we use that term, don't use naked numbers. 115 Skittles? No. $115? No. This is included in feet. All right, so let's take a look at number 16, multi-step. Well, it's given us a big clue already. We already know it's more than one step. So if we stop at one step, X. All right, how much shorter, again with that keyword, how much smaller, it's looking for the difference. What operation are we going to use? Subtraction. How much shorter is Top Thrill Dragster? Okay, so I care about Top Thrill Dragster, so I'm going to star it. Let me take away this other one. How much shorter is Top Thrill Dragster than? So that keyword than is telling us we're comparing something, finding the difference. How much shorter is Top Thrill Dragster than the heights of Titan? So we care about it. And King to Caw together. Now when it says Titan and King to Caw together, what are we doing when we're combining, putting something together? We're using addition. Oh, so we already know at some point in time we're going to subtract, some point in time we're going to add. There's our 2 steps. Now let's set it up correctly. Now we're comparing Top Thrill Dragster. So I'm going to put Top Thrill Dragster than, so I'm comparing it to what? I'm comparing it to Titan and King to Caw. And we said with Titan and King to Caw together, we were going to add them. So I'm just using abbreviated. So I put Top Thrill Dragster as TTD. I put Titan as T, King to Caw as KK. Okay, now let's go ahead and plug in what we know. Well, we already know that Top Thrill Dragster is 420. We know that Titan is 245. We know that Kingda Ka is 456. Now, of those two numbers, I know that 456 is my larger number, so I'm going to put it on top. And now I'm going to combine them. Okay, let's start at our ones place. 6 plus 5 is 11. 5 plus 1 is 6, plus 4 is 10. 4 plus 1 is 5, plus 2 is 7. So 701. Okay, now, are we done? No, our question does not say how much is the height of Titan and Kingda Ka together. It is how much shorter is Top Thrill Dragster than these together. Okay, now our next step is to compare how much shorter, and we said that we were going to subtract. So we have 420 minus 701, but we have our larger number, so it's 701 minus 420. Okay, now let's subtract it out. 1 minus 0 is still 1. Now, 5 zero Skittles, can I give away 2? No, go next door, get 10 more, so that 7 becomes a 6. 0 gets 10 more, it's now a 10. 10 minus 2 is 8. 6 minus 4 is 2. 281. Okay. Now I know that I did my step of putting Titan and Kingda Ka together. I know that I compared how much shorter is this than those combined numbers, so I think I'm done. Well, again, I have no multiple choice. I subtracted, I added, did lots of things. I want to make sure that I'm correct, so let's use our inverse operation. I think my answer is 281, so I'm going to star it. Let's double check our work. So let's take 420, use the inverse of subtraction, which is addition, and let's check our work. 0 plus 1 is 1, 8 plus 2 is 10, 4 plus 1 is 5, plus 2 is 7. Do those match? Yes. So that answer of 281 that we thought was our answer, it's proven to be correct. So 281. Again, 281 what? We're talking about their heights. Their height is measured in feet. So 281 feet. Oh, I do want to mention on number 17, it's a hot question. If you notice here, it says math on the spot. I am going to make sure to include the link to the video for math on the spot. There is a Go Math teacher that breaks down this question in a video. So I'll be sure to link it here beneath this video. So you're going to have help on 14, 16, and 17 on this page. So make sure you do take a look at that video link. Let's do one more together. Again, skipping around, I'm going to be on page 154. Let's go to number 21. Let's work on this multi-step, more than one step. All right, so I've got no stimulus, no picture to go off of, so I have to make sure I really understand this question. Heather, she picks out 197 berries. So we're talking about berries now. Vincent, okay, different character, different person. Vincent picks 124 more berries than Heather. Now hold on, I'm going to stop right here. I'm going to start to organize my thoughts. I'm going to organize what I have. I know that Heather, H for Heather, she has 197. I didn't have to figure it out. They gave that information to me. Vincent, V for Vincent, he picks 124 more than Heather. Okay, so let's think about this. They gave us a clue. They did not tell us that Vincent has 124. But they did say that he has more than Heather. Well, if he has more than Heather, his answer's got to be a bigger number. So let's think. Am I going to subtract to find Vincent? Well, no, that wouldn't make sense because then that would make Vincent smaller, his number smaller. He has more than Heather, so I'm going to use addition to find out Vincent. Now, I'm going to go ahead and figure this part out right now before I keep reading, before I get more information. Okay, so I have the clue that I care about Heather's number because he has 124 more than that number. Well, I know that Heather has 197. Vincent has more. Vincent has a bigger number, so I'm going to add to get a bigger number. He has 124 more. Okay, now I have more information to go off of. Let's go ahead and figure out Vincent. 197 plus 124. 7 plus 4 is 11. 9 plus 1 plus 2, 12. 1 plus 1 plus 1, 3. 321. Now, if you notice, I kind of glanced at my answer choices. I noticed that 321 is an answer choice. Have we even finished reading the problem? No. Well, if the question does say how many berries did Vincent pick, here's our answer. If that's not what our question is asking, it's wrong, we stopped at one step. Let's keep reading. Mia, different person, and for Mia, she picks 118 fewer, less, smaller. 118 fewer than Vincent. Stop right there. I'm comparing Mia to Vincent now. Good thing we figured out Vincent. Well, I know that Vincent is 321. I have a clue of 118 fewer. Now, if Mia has a fewer number, am I going to add to get a fewer number? No, I'm going to subtract to find Mia's number because she has 118 less. Okay, again, before we keep reading, let's go ahead and figure out Mia. So 321 minus 118. 1 minus 8, nope, cannot do. Go next door, get 10 more. That 2 becomes a 1. 1 gets 10 more. 1 plus 10 is 11. Okay, let's subtract it out. 11 minus 8. I can grab that 8, count up to 11. 9, 10, 11. 3. 1 minus 1, 0. 3 minus 1, 2. 203. Okay, let's keep reading. How many berries does Mia pick? Okay, go to Mia, star Mia. We don't care about these people anymore. How much did Mia pick? Well, we got 203. It looks like that's an answer choice. Let's prove it. Okay, so let's star our answer 203. We went through all the steps. We went through the motions. We did find Mia. We're just proving our answer. Okay, use your inverse operation. 203 plus 118. Go ahead and add those together. Did we subtract correctly? Yes. So that answer that we thought was true actually is 203 berries. All right, guys, make sure that you are showing your work on these steps. Make sure you are taking that extra step working on your subtraction to use your inverse operation to double check your answer. Make sure you're looking for keywords in your word problem. We know that if it talks about how many more, how many less, how many fewer, how many smaller, what's the difference, we know we're going to use subtraction. If it says to combine or together, all together, plus, all of those words, we know that we're going to use addition. Now you try independently on your own the rest of these questions, especially your homework and practice pages on page 155, 156. Y'all have a good day. Bye.